Hello. This module of linking literacy and assessment is talking about working with culturally and linguistically diverse students. And you'll find in your Gillett text reading this week that this is a really important topic in education right now because we do have so many children who have various special cultural differences and language differences, and we do need to know how to work with and best teach those students. This is the module that we were talking about in the beginning, that it would be beneficial for you to be working with an ELL child. And the reason for this is if you'll be giving some assessments this week and writing a report about those. Well, if you've already given those assessments and you've written your assessment-based instruction assignment, then you can use a lot of that information again on this particular task, just answering the questions in a slightly different way. So if you already have worked with the ELL child and written that report and gotten feedback from me, feel free to reuse that information. Do not reinvent the wheel here. Save yourself some time and trouble and go back and visit that report. Just make sure that you are answering all the questions the way they need to be answered for this particular task. So, if you haven't been working with an ELL child, that's fine too. You can find an ELL child to work with for just this week, or you have one other option, and that is to use the videos that I have prepared for you for this course with me working with an ELL child um, on these assessments. And what you would do is you would watch those videos and you would pretend that you are the instructor that is giving those assessments. So you will have your own copy of the responses and a score sheet, and you'll be scoring it as if you were the one doing the teaching and instructing. There is no discussion board this week, and that's to give you time for the two assignments that are due this week, and they're related to each other. So you're going to give three different tests to an ELL child. One is the concepts about print, the other is alphabet knowledge, and the last is dictation. And then you're going to be writing a report about how the child did on those assessments. You'll be writing a summary of the results, an analysis of their responses and why you think they responded the way they did. You do need to discuss their limited English proficiency in this report, so that might be something that you did not discuss in your assessment-based instruction assignment, so you might need to add that. Then you need to talk about how we can compensate as a teacher and how they can compensate as a student for that limited English proficiency. You'll then give 3 to 5 suggestions of how to improve the results on the assessment. So 3 to 5 different things that they can work on in the classroom to improve. This report is your professional writing report. You're writing it as if you're writing to a principal or perhaps the reading specialist in your school, something that might go into the portfolio of the student. So this is professional writing, and you can use professional education language. This is a 3 to 5 page report that's in addition to the students' exam responses. So you'll scan in all the work that they did. In addition to that, you're writing a 3 to 5 page report with all of the things that I just mentioned. You will need citations for this report because this is a professional report, as I mentioned before. Then you're moving on and you're going to write a fictitious letter to the parents about how the child performed on these tests. And since this is for the parents, you will not be using education language that they may not understand because they may not have taken all these classes that you are taking and know these about these terms. You may find it helpful to describe the test, with a few sentences. This is what your child was asked to do, and this is what they did. And then, so you're talking about how they performed on the test. Then I need 5 recommendations that this student can do with their parents at home to improve on their knowledge. And so these are things that you're going to suggest that they can actually do. You need to think of things that they actually have access to. If you know they don't have a computer and internet at home, then don't give them a website to use that would be inappropriate that they couldn't use. Maybe suggest, library books from the library. Give them a list of suggestions. Just don't just say go to the library and pick out a book. Give them some suggestions of books that might be on that child's independent or instructional level that could help them improve. So that's 5 recommendations for the parent. Um, of what they can do to help their child improve. Be careful with your language here and how you present information to a parent. We always do want to try to present everything in a positive light, which can be hard. Sometimes they completely bomb this test, and we need to find a way to talk about that that is still in a positive light. So just be thinking about the language, and if you were a parent, how you would like to receive that type of information. Okay, so since you have those 2 assignments this week, you do not have a discussion board to do. Just get those 2 assignments in. Remember that if you are using the same child that you have already used for assessments, that's okay. You don't need to re-give all these assessments again. Use that information. Certainly check out my feedback and add that to the report, and then add the elements that were also required, that are specifically for an ELL child. Your extra point activity this week is to search for a website, an activity, or a journal article that you find might be appropriate for helping teachers teach ELL children. And then go ahead and post that in the ongoing tutoring discussion. That will help everyone out. So that's all for this week. Thanks very much, and I hope you have a wonderful week working with an ELL child.